Good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News Brief. Today, we have a couple of tragic stories about some mainstream media reporters that have been found dead. Just over a month ago, on November 13th, if I'm not mistaken, that's when it was reported. This young lady right here, Cleveland culture reporter Nikki Delamotte, was found dead with gunshot wounds, and it wasn't just her, it was her uncle as well. There has been no follow-up to this story. I have not seen anything to indicate that they have any persons of interest or that they have any suspects or even spoken to anyone. The investigation has been locked down tight. Now, whether that's because nothing is being done or because the person who did it covered their tracks so well, it's yet to be known. But a culture reporter for Cleveland.com was found dead with gunshot wounds Monday in her uncle's trailer, according to police and her mother. Nikki Delamotte, 30, and Robert J. Delamotte, 67, were found dead in Perrysburg Township, about 10 miles southeast of Toledo, according to Perrysburg Police Department. It does not appear at this time that her death has any connection to being a journalist, said a statement released by the police Tuesday. The department refused to release any other information due to the suspicious nature of the death. Delamotte's mother, Joanne Ullman, said she called police, hospitals, highway patrol, and her daughter's uncle when she got a message from Delamotte's boyfriend that she hadn't made it home Sunday night. Then, after finding out her former brother-in-law's address, she drove to his trailer about 100 miles from Cleveland. When we pulled up, her car was there with her phone and wallet inside. I banged on the door and every window on the trailer with no response and then called the police again, Ullman told NBC News. So I guess that rules out robbery as a possible motive. When officers arrived and got into the trailer, they told Ullman that they were both deceased and both had gunshot wounds. Ullman said Nikki had lost touch with her father's side of the family when her parents divorced, but reconnected with Robert recently after the death of her maternal grandmother. They had been talking on the phone and made plans to meet up on Sunday to catch up over a football game at a bar. Nikki doesn't like football, but wanted to spend time with him, Ullman said. That's the kind of person she is. Nikki is in love, Ullman added. She penned the book 100 Things to Do in Cleveland Before You Die. Oh, how ironic. And she worked for Freshwater Cleveland and Cleveland Scene before joining Cleveland.com in 2016. All three publications highly praised her work ethic, writing and reporting skills, kind nature, and humility after news of her death broke. We are devastated. We are angry. To say that Nikki was special is obvious to anybody who met her or read her. She said a Cleveland Scene editorial. She was curious and kind, an exceedingly talented and natural storyteller, brimming with empathy that shone through in the stories that she told and in her friendships and relationships she built. A candlelit vigil in Cleveland for Delamotte was planned for Thursday night, and a fundraiser for her mother and boyfriend was planned for Friday. A GoFundMe set up to help Delamotte's family with her memorial had raised more than $10,000 by Tuesday afternoon. Nikki was a rock star, only she didn't know, or maybe more accurate, she would never admit it, said Troy Smith, an entertainment reporter for Cleveland.com. Let's go ahead and take a look at that GoFundMe. See if it's still active. Look at that. $26,691 of the $25,000 goal. 616 people got together for this poor girl's family. Oh, and she's got a Prince button on. Gotta love it. Well, that's not the only reporter that we have dying in recent months. We've had two more suspicious deaths in just the last 24 hours. All right, now moving on to a story from the Federalist. This is a couple years old, guys, but this is pretty important, and you'll find out why in a minute. FBI interview catches Hillary Clinton in multiple lies. The FBI just released notes from its July 2nd interview with Hillary Clinton about her use of a private, unsecured email server during her tenure as Secretary of State. Their findings don't look good for Clinton. Days after the interview, which was not recorded, FBI Director James Comey publicly held a press conference urging the Department of Justice not to press any criminal charges against Clinton, despite her extremely careless handling of classified information. In the FBI report, Clinton made statements that appear to either contradict her earlier remarks about the email scandal or to be flat-out lies. Clinton has repeatedly said she has turned over all of her work-related emails on her private server, but the FBI report stated they found 17,448 emails she failed to turn over to the Inspector General. And here's some pages from that report. Several weeks after the initial New York Times story broke in March 2015, revealing the existence of Clinton's private email server, a bunch of the emails were deleted. I want the public to see my email. 3 weeks later, oh shit, delete. Clinton told the FBI that she didn't pay attention to the different levels of classification. Because why would you when you're Secretary of State and you're dealing with special access programs and classified intelligence? And that she didn't understand that an email containing a C meant confidential, but that she thought they were marked in alphabetical order. Oh my God. Her claims of ignorance, whether they're true or not, violate an agreement she signed during her first day on the job in the State Department. From the very beginning of her tenure as Secretary of State, Clinton signed a non-disclosure agreement acknowledging that it was her responsibility to ascertain whether documents contained sensitive information. She also acknowledged the criminal penalties she would face if she disclosed government documents. Right there is the reason why she deserves to be prosecuted and deserves to go to jail, guys. Every time you hear a liberal say something about how but my emails, Hillary Clinton didn't do nothing, Hillary Clinton is guilty of absolutely nothing, just point to that fact. She signed a non-disclosure agreement. She acknowledged that she would herself be responsible for safeguarding Special Access Program intelligence and classified information. And if she broke that non-disclosure agreement, that means she violated the terms of it. That means that she can be held accountable, and that includes a jail time. In 2011, State Department employees reportedly received a memo sent on Clinton's behalf warning them against using personal email accounts for official business, as it could put sensitive information at risk. She told the FBI she didn't remember sending that memo. Whenever she upgraded to a new device, the State Department would sometimes lose track of her old ones. On 2 occasions, staffers destroyed her old devices by beating it with a hammer. The infamous hammer incident. Throughout her time in the State Department, Hillary Clinton went through 13 different BlackBerry devices, none of which she found or turned over to the FBI. Former Secretary of State Colin Powell warned Clinton about the dangers of using a personal device because if it came out, then all her private emails would be subject to public scrutiny, a conversation she refuses to talk about publicly. You can read the FBI's notes of their interview with Clinton here. I will include this information in the pinned comment below. All right, so I am highlighting this article because it's a fairly scathing account and an honest account of Hillary Clinton and her experience and participation in the email scandal. And it was written by a girl named Brie Payton. Well, unfortunately, Brie Payton has passed away. Of what, you might ask? The swine flu. In a sudden illness, Brie was very young, only born in 1992. She went to Western Christian Private High School. She graduated from Patrick Henry College in 2015 with a degree in journalism, and she joined the Federalist that same year. Brie was very early in her career, and for her to write that story, I believe, put her in the crosshairs of the Clinton machine. Here's another article which details her illness. Brie Payton, a 26-year-old political writer and TV commentator, died suddenly Friday after being diagnosed with swine flu. Payton was found unconscious and barely breathing by her friend Morgan Murtaugh on Thursday morning at her apartment in San Diego, California, according to Murtaugh and a Caring Bridge page. Her friend immediately called 911 and Payton was taken to a local hospital where doctors learned she had the H1N1 flu and possibly meningitis, the page states. She's been in a coma since she was admitted to the hospital and really needs a miracle right now, Murtaugh posted on Twitter. Please, if you're religious at all, send prayers this way. Prayers immediately started pouring in for the journalist who wrote for The Federalist, a right-wing news outlet. However, by Friday, her employer confirmed she had died. Brie has passed, publisher Ben Domenech wrote on Twitter. We are devastated. Last we saw her, she was her funny, smart, vivacious self, now lost to us so suddenly. Added Murtaugh in another tweet, rest in paradise, you beautiful soul. Payton was also frequently a guest on TV news programs on CNN, Fox News, and more. It is not clear how she contracted the virus. Her death prompted an outpouring of condolences from well-known figures including Meghan McCain, Chris Hayes, and Philip Klein. We are less without her in every possible way, McCain wrote. A wonderful, fearless, vibrant, intelligent young woman, sending prayers to all of her family and friends during this darkness. Well, that's all we know at this time. I'll be very interested to see what happened to Brie in the days leading up to her death. Sounds like she went to work on Thursday and she was fine. And then on Friday, suddenly she's in a coma with meningitis and swine flu. Both are probably diseases that I imagine have been weaponized in one fashion or another. I'm not saying I have any evidence of that, but it just goes to show you the types of things that have happened that we know about. Why wouldn't they weaponize something like this? There has been legitimate efforts in the past to weaponize very common illnesses in this manner so that it will look like, people died just of natural causes. And another mainstream media news personality has passed away in California. KTLA weekend anchor Chris Burrows has died at the age of 43. This is also under some very suspicious circumstances. KTLA Channel 5 weekend anchor Chris Burrows was found unconscious in a motel room in Glendale Thursday afternoon and later died at a hospital. Burrows, 43, joined KTLA in 2011. He is survived by a wife and a 9-year-old daughter. This is why it's weird to me. He's got a wife and a 9-year-old daughter, and he's staying at a motel in the same town that he lives in. Police received a call at about 1:15 p.m. from a man who said a man at the Days Inn, located at 450 Pioneer Drive, had passed out and was possibly not breathing. Now, who was that man? Glendale firefighters responded to the scene and found Burrows inside a room and not breathing, Suttles said. CPR was administered and he was taken to a hospital where he died. The original call to police stated Burrows may have overdosed, but detectives will await the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office report for a determination on the cause of death, Suttles said. So, was the man that called in hanging out in a motel room with this anchor? Was he selling him drugs? Was he, doing drugs with him? Were they lovers? Or was it an assassin? And did he call it in so that somebody would find him? Albeit too late. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Burrows family, KTLA President and General Manager Don Corsini and News Director Jason Ball said in a joint statement Thursday. Chris loves sharing the stories of Southern California and connecting with our viewers. He will be remembered as a great journalist and a wonderful friend to many. He brought a kindness to his work and will be deeply missed by the entire KTLA family. There are no words, Romero wrote. When we took this picture during our show, I had no idea it would be our last time together. Wow. Let's see. Let's take a look at this and see if we can glean any clues from video of this man.
Laugh all the time. But he was a true journalist at heart, dedicated to delivering the news not only here in the studio but on the streets as well. And often he was the first on the scene with breaking news.
I'm pretty fast on it.
You're very fast.
And this has been
Look
really
at
helpful.
this. The turning rate.
It goes over, when you're in this parking lot doing live shots, it's sturdier.
Yeah. Chris Burrows and his KTLA team ruled the weekend mornings, delivering the news you needed and often the comments you weren't expecting.
Dana,
What?
people are saying in your outfit that you look very appealing.
The 43-year-old Burrows was a California boy. Son of a Central Valley farmer, he attended Chapman University. And he spent his early broadcasting career at half a dozen smaller TV stations up and down the West Coast. But after a short stint in New York, Chris made his way here to KTLA in 2010 and rapidly made his presence known as a quick-witted master of live television.
What are you doing? Mark?
$5.
I know. I'm sorry.
$5. No, I'm so confident. $20. They were able to launch a rocket. $20, we will not be able to get Skype to work.
Chris, though, was equally adept reporting from the streets, most recently in the Woolsey fire, and he was one of the first on the scene at the borderline shooting.
I'm sorry, I'm Chris.
Oh, there you go.
Hi, Chris. I understand you know some people who were in the club.
Yeah, it was college night, so there's a lot of friends and peers in there.
Chris, though, was probably best known for his quirky journalist.
Wow, that might be it right there, guys. He's connected to the borderline shooting. First on the scene, so he would have quite a bit of knowledge about what exactly transpired. Okay, definitely gonna be keeping my eyes on this story to see what pans out.